Levack and Goz from weird locations as we are will talk sports for food. Actually, we're panhandling on the internet for attention. I promised I wouldn't. Guys, quickly, I think we say just briefly, we obviously this is the first show we've done post our former employer, our former employment. So I don't want to get into too much about any of that. But hey, if you have a sports network or whatever, and you're looking for what do we call that one dude? Beer belly boys to talk sports. We have some free time now. I'm not unemployed. I'm underemployed. I just have less work than I used to.
There could be. So I'm glad we're doing this off the top. There could be somebody on the podcast side who doesn't live in the capital region. The rules have changed,
by the way, too. So
that's right. For the podcast audience who may not be following the news, again, like Levack hinted at, or basically said, we are no longer affiliated with Fox Sports. We are no longer affiliated with iHeart. We are free agents. I love that term you used on social media. We are officially free agents. Yep. I would love to announce right now what we are going to do. But like I teased in the description and on social media when this got released, talking about future plans, it is nice when the phone rings. Let's put it like that. It is nice over the course of, it's not even 2 weeks yet, that people do care about us and not just people who care about the show, is it weird that I went through a lot of your comments and felt touched? Like I've been motivated. Seriously, it's been overwhelming at times to be like, guys, we're rolling with you. We're sticking with you. Like, we don't care. We don't care if you're on radio or not on radio. We're rolling with you. So thank you to everybody who left a really nice message to Levack, because I read a lot of them and they were very touching. So we can't tell you exactly what we're doing yet. And that is not to be vague, but that is because you and I are going through a lot of meetings with people. And when we make a decision, we will let you know. That's the nicest, most honest. I don't want to name names because that's not fair to the people we're talking to and the people who we won't pick to work with.
It'll also end those.
It's very nice. Yeah. Yes, exactly right. That's it.
I don't know what we're even allowed to talk about and do. If you've reached out, like God said, means the world. I haven't gotten back to everybody. I've tried to, but if I'm being perfectly honest, I kind of love my life at this exact moment in time. Like as much as I love talking to you guys every day, not having to go, it's 3:00, crap, stop everything I'm doing, show meeting, let's get going. 4:00, we talk sports. And we can do this. We can decide when we do what we do. But it was the first time I've ever been liberated from employment in my life. So it did mess with my head for a couple days. I think I found myself in a good place though. And I'll say this and you tell me whether you agree or not. Worst case scenario, we will live on in some form of podcast, even if it's just the two of us talking sports occasionally, so that we don't drive your wife and my daughter crazy.
That's exactly right. That is the worst case scenario. There are a lot of awesome best case scenarios. Yes. We're going to do this in some type of fashion. When you and I are talking right now, it's the first week of July. I can't promise you it's going to be 5 days a week. I can't promise you.
Make sure everybody knows that we're on.
I can't promise you it's going to always be video or always going to be audio. Stuff is in motion. I don't like being vague. I wish I could, but trust us. It's right. We just can't.
I don't even know what I want to do. I don't like. I know. It's pretty sad that I'm 49 and I have to decide what I'm going to do when I grow up. You know what I mean? You just turned your mic off.
There you go. We have a bunch of meetings next week. I almost want to. This is too corny and too cheesy, but there's a part of me that has the feel of a college recruit. Like you said, free agent. We're not going to do signing day. We might put a social media post out eventually when we decide how we're doing this thing, but. Roll with us. That's all. Oh, one other really important thing. Someone's like, how are they doing this, by the way? How are you guys allowed? For those who don't know this, Godzilla Media was a YouTube channel. It still exists, so there might be content there or somewhere else. And this podcast that you're listening to on Spotify and Apple is owned by Levack and I. We own the RSS feed. iHeartMedia has never owned this feed ever. When we were independent, it is the same feed. iHeart does not own this. Town Square does not own this. I own this. Levack. So if you're wondering, like, how did they get permission to even go on this is ours. It's always been ours. So if you're wondering, like, do I have to download? I'll give it Tom Nolte, who we love and adore. He's like, how do I do the podcast thing? We'll help you people. Okay. We will help you people through.
You don't want Goz to help you. Don't have Goz help you. It's not cheap. I
feel like that's it. We don't have much more to say, right? About iHeart and the exit. We're here.
And I will, God, how do I do this? The people that are in power that we worked with on a regular basis are big fans of us as people, and they have gone out of their way to make sure that we can live our lives, which sometimes radio companies try to not let you do that. So
what? Who? Me?
Yeah,
is there a 3-hour podcast on that on this channel?
I've often been the one who's had to go, like, hey man, you got to stop doing that because they said they're going to do this if you don't do that. So like to be the one who was like told, hey, you're good, just don't be I can say don't be a dick and everything's fine. Like, okay, I can, yeah, all right, fine, that's cool, all right.
To my defense, and for people who are looking for like us to talk smack about iHeart, I would like to remind people Town Square did it first. That's why I rebutted. So I have nothing to.
I can't compare the two.
No. That's what I'm not going to say anything bad about iHeart. That's it.
Okay. All right.
I won't say anything bad about them because they didn't say anything bad about me. Like iHeart has been fine to us. Town Square was not. So if people are looking for like, I want him to get him. I want him to be like those people in Rochester. No, they didn't say anything bad about us. So why would I say anything bad about them?
Did people in Rochester talk smack? Did
oh
my
gosh, people are like making a living off of it.
Oh well, I mean, and that's the other thing too is like. I will say this, the real reason that we're doing this and we decided to talk it through a little bit before we got into it is we always do the way too early NFL preview right around this time. And I had already taken my notes and like, I'm going to pull the curtain way back. I don't think far enough back that I could get in trouble for it, but the day that we found out we were no longer on terrestrial radio, there was maintenance being done in the building. We did the show. The show was ready because we didn't know if we were going to be able, because Goz comes in through the internet. We didn't know if Goz would be able to be part of the show if we didn't do it. So we had already done the show. It was very timely. It was about the draft. It was all this. It was solid, good content. And then I walk in the building and I'm like, are you kidding? Will you please just run the show? Just please air the show. And they're like, we can't. Once you walk out, it's not right to do that to you. I'm like, but we made a show. So at some point, maybe we just post that show. I don't know. Like
it's posted.
It is?
It's already
you posted
up.
it? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So all right. So if you have Spotify, you know that we did a show.
Yeah. Spotify and Apple already knew.
I said to the boss on the way out, I was like, if this ever happens again, fire me at 7:05. Like, if I ever come back, because again, I have no ill will. It is what it is. I'm actually loving life. I could, I will put my Venmo out there if you guys want to help me continue to live. IPAs are not cheap. I picked the wrong time to start drinking expensive beer.
By the way, Bill and Salve, who listen to that podcast, and all the people who listen on the side, we appreciate you. Bill knows, he's like, hey, Goz, did you make a joke about them turning off the network and this not making radio? I'm like, that's a good ear right there. I did reference that. So yes. So again, this is where content's going to come. One other quick thing about the NFL preview. We promise we're going to talk about the New York teams. We promise we're going to talk about the NFL. This has historically been our highest downloaded podcast. So thank you for everybody who's going to listen. Share it with your friends as we go through these meetings. It'd be nice to show some nice numbers for our most recent episode.
Numbies, baby. All right, Levack and Goz, and right here, part of Godzilla, and I think I'm an LLC myself in some way.
Do it up, yes.
Because again, we don't know exactly what we're gonna do, and we got to figure it all out. So I'm not gonna say what my name of my LLC is gonna be because I could see Tom Nolte getting it. Did Tom Nolte leave? All right, so the president of the Colony Chamber called me at 4:05 on Monday and asked if you and I would call him every weekday at 4:00 because he didn't want to listen to the other stuff.
Are you asking? Did he do that same thing to me today?
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
He did today. Okay, all right, okay. I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I want to talk to anybody right now. But But it is time. Let's do this NFL preview. It's the way too early NFL preview. We've been doing it for years. And I think historically, this is usually the preview. This is the NFL preview where we actually get more right than after camp. I feel like historically, this is where we get our, like, this team is going to play this team kind of situation. So let's get into it. You said we'd start with the New York teams. I say we go bottom up. And for me, the bottom right now is gangrene. Aaron Glenn's already on the hot seat. Their quarterback situation, Geno Smith does not get in a lick of trouble from the day he gets his jaw broken by IK Enkapali and he's out of the Jets. As soon as he leaves the Jets, he's a model freaking NFL citizen. You don't hear his name. He goes to the Raiders. He flips people off with the Raiders. That's all he does. The second he goes back to the Jets, domestic violence is he's being accused of it. I think the Jets are better this year than they were last year, and that's even with losing great players like Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. And all. I think they're a better team than they were last year, but that's like saying I only stepped in a little bit of poop. The Jets, I think the Jets will be in contention for the number 1 draft pick all season long.
I do as well, and I'm sorry, Jet fan who is hoping to have some optimism. I don't have to say, don't forget, you're home for Jets foot. I don't have to do that anymore, so that's good. I don't have to be a little bit kind
of.
We
can reenact it. We can do it.
Here's the thing about the Jets. I feel like they did, to your point, add Geno Smith, add some people. They've made moves for what they have. This was a theme of the Jets in 2025 that the Rodgers thing ended terribly. It wasn't what they wanted. They thought they were going to go all in, win a Super Bowl, be a playoff team, and rarely, not just in the NFL, but just in professional sports in general, does a team go all in and whiff and never make the postseason. Obviously, an injury was involved in that. And then solid. We know how it all went. They're still rebuilding. The quarterback stinks. He's not good. Is Breece Hall back? Yeah. Garrett Wilson's back. They got some stuff. The tough part about the Jets is that the division is loaded, the schedule's tough, and the quarterback's bad. And I'm not convinced Aaron Glenn's a great coach yet. I know it seems like he's a great motivator. It seems like he can lead men, but there's like a third thing that's important. Yes, you can be a leader of men. Yes, you can know football, but the actual game strategy. I'm going to pride I've said this before. I'm going to pride myself when they let me make some strategy and flag football this upcoming fall and the following year and tackle football for the West Genesee Wildcats. Central New York people will realize, how's he allowed to play? That's not the point of this. The point is, district-wise, the point is you need to know what you're doing on 3rd and 2 with 2 minutes to go. You need to know what you're doing on 4th and 1 at the 30 with 4:40 to play. The best thing Glenn did last year strategy-wise was the Bengal game. And people who played Survivor know what I'm talking about. They went for 2, down 14 to the Bengals. They kicked the extra point. They beat Cincinnati in that game because they finally figured out the strategy. Talent-wise, they're not great. But a lot of this is about Aaron Glenn as a coach. I have a little bit more faith than last year. But you said they're in contention for the number 1 pick. I don't have much of a disagreement. If we're rolling into this in November and December talking Jets, we might be having NFL draft insiders telling us who's the pick. Arch, Lenoris, somebody else.
And I don't want to beat on the guy because he could very well be a very good head coach. Like it's very possible. But I never thought he was a great defensive coordinator with the Lions. The Lions won a lot of games by outscoring people when he was there. He almost had that bend don't break defense thing going on. But now that he's here with the Jets, I really think that I think he is a sacrificial lamb. I think they're hoping Arch Manning, Trinidad Shambles, Brandon Sorsby, whoever is the hot name to be the number 1, number 2, number 3 pick of the draft. Aaron Glenn's career as a head coach is going to die for your sins. Like he's going to get you through this season. Probably week 9 or 10, he'll get kicked. You'll get the number 2. I think they'll have the number 2 pick. I'll explain why when we do our actual full division breakdowns. But I don't think he's going to get a fair shot. I think if you're the Jets and you really think you hired the right guy, he's got to get 2 more years. He's got to get this year and then next year when you have your actual quarterback. I think Geno Smith will be better. I think a lot of this off the field stuff will blow over from the way it looks, but I think he's been set up to fail. I'll say so that's the story of the Jets, set up to fail this year. All right, so the next in line for New York for me, not a whole lot better than the Jets. They're roommates, the New York Football Giants. I think there's so much hope. My line has always been, if you're not going to give me wins, give me hope. If I'm a Giants fan, there's a lot of hope. I see Jackson Dart, Cam Scadaboo's back, Harbaugh's in there, getting things together. Defensive front. I mean, I think they've done everything right, but I think they're a year or two away from being the team that Big Blue fan thinks they are right now. I think this will be a good year for the Giants, but I don't see them. I don't really see them in the postseason. Maybe they somehow fight their way into a wild card, but I think they're an improved team, but they still have a year or two to go before they're that team that everybody is trying to say they are right now.
The toughest part about this New York Giant team is, what does the team look like in November? And obviously that's the halfway mark. I get it. But is it Harbaugh? Is he that big of a difference? Is Raven fan going to look and say, this is the reason we make a change? I know it's a cross-sport comparison, but look at these things that have happened involving Tom Thibodeau and Mike Brown. Controversial coaching change at work. You do Indiana football, right? Kurt Cignetti was hired, but the guy before him was one of the best coaches in Indiana history. We've seen in recent situations, we do Miami Hurricanes. Like, we can pick a lot of these. Dusty May won the title for your Wolverines, and Juwan Howard's from the Fab Five. We've seen this recent trend where a coach who was there for a while, or was loved or at least criticized by fan base, but was successful, took a team as far as they could and they made a change. Is that the difference for Baltimore? It is the difference for Harbaugh. It's a really interesting storyline. And I'm noted November because here's the first 7, right? Dallas, Rams, Titans, Cardinals, Commanders, Saints, Texans. You could make a case they're going to be 5-2 or 1-6. There's a lot of coin flip games there. There's a lot of Scott Hansen, red zone yelling games right there. So is Dart going to make the plays? Is Scadaboo healthy? Is Malik Neighbors out there? Is Harbaugh the difference? It's a lot harder for me to judge the Giants and the Jets. If they're above 500 by the first weekend of November, they got a chance to at least be in the hunt in mid-December. If they're 2-5, Giants fans are going to lose their minds. They're going to blame everybody. The members are going to take some everybody. So it's a lot of this is on Jackson Dart. He was a fun, I don't love the term social media quarterback, but he's a good-looking guy who's been enjoying the Kentucky Derby lifestyle, the women in New York. Can he actually play? We've seen a lot of sophomore letdowns in year 2. I feel like he can move in the pocket. It's got a really good coach. This feels like a barely below 500 team for me.
Yeah, and like the Jackson Dart thing, like, has there ever been a less Bill Parcells quarterback? Like, I don't want a superstar quarterback. I want, blah, blah, blah. He's a superstar quarterback. Hopefully he's as good on the field as he is, in the media. He's a pretty man. He's a pretty man. All right. I think we agree. Well, we agree on your neighbors, the Buffalo Bills. I think something I learned as a kid is anytime a team changes their uniform, they expect to have a big season, because it's like, all right, I need everybody to go out and buy a new Josh Allen jersey. Let's change the jersey a little bit. Let's do some things. Let's get it where you didn't change that. You changed your entire stadium. I think this is an extremely talented team. I love DJ Moore. I think he is going to be a low-end wide receiver 1. When we're going for fantasy football drafts, if you were to grab him in the second round, I think you wouldn't be too disappointed in what he does for you, especially if you got like a really great running back in the first round. But I think the Bills are going to be the class of the AFC East. Again, we're going to break down division, so I don't want to talk too much about that. But yeah, I think the Bills will make they'll make a run. I think they'll be a playoff team. They may be one of the top 2-3 seed in the AFC. I think they're that good. When you've got Josh Allen and now he's got a number 1 wide receiver plus all of his other weapons, I think they'll be a very, very good team this year.
That whole thing I just did there too about the Giants and a new head coach and high expectations. Got to do the same thing for the Bills. I got to stay consistent. They do the same thing with McDermott and Brady here. I like DJ Moore too. You and I were talking via text about the DJ Moore viral story about the jersey buying and all that stuff that Western New York fans have embraced him. Is the offense better? Yeah, it is. Is the defense better? I think it's wait and see. We'll find out. They haven't fallen off that much. Josh Allen's still their quarterback. So, yeah, this can be the team that still is in contention for Super Bowl. The classic conversation we used to love. We don't have to do this anymore. Sports talk radio. Is the window closed? I'll bring back one comment, sports talk radio. It's eventually going to stop, but it's not now. They think they can still do it. And why not? With Denver potentially having Bo Nix sidelined for a little bit, with maybe New England because of their schedule taking a step back, Kansas City's question marks with Mahomes. We'll cover all these things in the NFL preview, but they absolutely have a path to the Super Bowl. They absolutely can get to Los Angeles. They are still one of the top teams in the AFC this upcoming year.
Completely agree. Josh Allen is, especially like you said, there's so many questions. Bo Nix. How many games does Mahomes miss? Does Mahomes miss games? Even when he's back, does he look right? Is Travis Kelce still recovering from, the castle inside Madison Square Garden for his wedding? I mean, there's a lot going on in the AFC, and the Bills should benefit from most of it. There's your New York teams. There it is. That's what we think. But now, how do they fit in to the overall NFL picture? Guys, where do you want to start? You pick a division. All right. I see what you did there. The AFC East preview. I think we both had the Bills winning the AFC East. Is that what's happening here?
Yes. I would say the number's right around 12 to 13 wins for Buffalo. New England had a monster year last year. New England gets all the way to the Super Bowl. Preseason this time last year, when we talked about the Patriots, we looked at Vrabel and we looked at the schedule. And a lot of people did like the Patriots to be the biggest improver. Those two things mattered. And look, the biggest criticism for that New England team last year was they didn't play anybody. Who cares? They got to the Super Bowl. They played who they had to play. They beat a backup quarterback in the AFC title. We can keep doing it. They beat who they were supposed to beat. Buffalo and New England had some battles last year. Buffalo can beat them this year. I do not think the Rossini-Vrabel thing plays a factor this year for New England, but give me Buffalo at 13 wins, New England at 11. The Jets are in last place. I don't want to say the Dolphins are the surprise, but I have the Dolphins with 7 wins. They are so young and so stinky. Sienna coach, though. Sienna Saint, former alumni there. I know you got a conversation about the national radio spot you did earlier this year, and I have the Jets in last place with 3 wins. So I go Buffalo, New England, put a little star next to New England. We might get back to them when we talk about the wild card and playoff bursts. Miami at 7 wins and the Jets at 3.
I agree, Buffalo. I agree, New England. I strongly disagree with your take on Miami. I think the reason that I think the Jets will be fighting for the number 2 overall pick of the draft is because I think Miami is a lock for the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. And I don't see what they're doing. Like I do see what they're doing. I'm sorry. They were in salary cap hell. And to get out of salary cap hell, they had to let Chubb go. They had to let this guy go. They had to let that. Tua is fighting for the starting job in Atlanta. This Miami team, like, they're the equivalent of a 10-year-old who rage quits during a game of Madden. Like, they've just quit. They're paying more money. They're paying more money for players who aren't on their roster than I believe 20 Major League Baseball teams are paying for their entire roster this year. So they're going to be bad. They're going to be real bad. And I don't I just happily survive it. That's how bad I think Miami is. I think a rookie head coach could lose his job without ever getting a chance to prove he can do his job. Like, guys, they just signed your 3 sons to play wide receiver. They have no one. They have nothing. So I think the Jets will benefit from how bad the Dolphins are. The Dolphins, I believe, will be the worst team in the NFL.
The Dolphins over-under win total is tied for last. 4.5
under
is what we're looking at.
Under. I'll take the under. I think they're going to be 2 to 3 wins. Probably 2. Probably 2 wins is I think where they're going to live. So yeah, so Bills. I think Brady, Joe Brady. I believe his relationship with Josh Allen will play out on the field. His relationship with DJ Moore. Remember, he coached Moore there when they were together. There was that brief window where they were together in Carolina. He knew exactly who he was getting. I think that will make everybody else on the team better. The defense is the thing about the Bills that I'll be very curious to see how that plays out, because I don't think McDermott got enough credit for the way he was able to let superstar defensive players or at least Pro Bowl level defensive players leave that team and not lose a lot on the defensive side of the ball. So, but I think Buffalo will do it. I expect the Patriots to take a step back, not a huge step back, but a step back. The Drake made it to AJ Brown thing is going to be awesome. You said you don't think the Diana Rossini situation is going to be an issue. There's just so many bad videos. Like every time we turn around, there's another Diana Rossini video. Like you can't tell me based on the way the TMZs of the world and the gotcha medias of the world operate that they're not waiting for a big Vrabel story. Like Vrabel comes out and says, yeah, I think we're going to go back to the Super Bowl, Drake, blah, blah, and then here's a picture of them, making out. I think it is going to be a bit of a distraction, but that's a team, that's an area that deals well with distractions. So, but I think it's Bills, Pats, Jets, only because the Dolphins are stinky tuna. It's bad. It's low tide at the Red Lobster dumpster on a hot sunny day. That's what the Dolphins smell like in my mind.
I wish we had smelling ovation on this app feature. You don't?
Yeah, just go to Red Lobster. Like it's 100 degrees in the capital region right now. Go to Red Lobster, pop the dumpster lid open, take a big whiff. That's the Dolphins. That's what that is.
Is Red Lobster still with us? Or have they gone the way our beloved Hooters?
I think there's one on Wolf Road still. I think it's
good. Okay.
I think hold on, let me I'll do some 3.5 miles away, 170 Wolf Road.
If Red Lobster would like to sponsor this show, we'd be more than happy to have you.
Nah, I'm not a big seafood guy. I'm good. Thank you. I'll pass. All right. The AFC North is, I think this is one of those situations, guys, where people are going to think that I disagree with you just for the show. Last year, you loved the Bengals. I did not. I thought they would be stinky. I think you were a year ahead. I think the Bengals are going to be very good this year. I know that they've had some talent turnover and all that stuff. And Joe Burrow's out there doing the sad sack routine of I don't even know that I want to play football anymore. It's the time has withered my drive. Whatever. But I think the Bengals will actually take the North. I think the Ravens could very well surprise me and be as good as they were, if not better. But I don't know that Lamar Jackson cares. Like I don't know, and I love Zay Flowers. I love Mark Andrews, but I think losing Isaiah Likely was a huge thing for them. I think that was bad. That's one of the reasons I like the Giants better. Is I think Isaiah Likely is a very good tight end. I think he's, especially when Andrews gets hurt a lot and everything they're doing. I think if I was going to break this down, it is for me the Bengals with Joe Burrow. They take the North. The Ravens come in second-ish, but possibly get upset by the Steelers. I think the remarriage, the rekindling of the romance of Fart McCarthy and Aaron full of crap Rodgers, I think that the Steelers might actually be very good. You know what? I'm gonna do it right now. It's gonna be Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, and then the crappy Browns. The Browns are hot trash. They're garbage. They're telling everybody Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders are good because they want someone to trade for them. You can't let Myles Garrett walk out of your team and compete against the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Steelers. So I'm going Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, then the stinky Browns.
I wish the NFL schedule people would have moved some stuff around a little bit and moved that Pittsburgh Cincinnati game on November 15th to the final week of the regular season, because it is going to come down to those two teams for me for the final playoff berth, the Bengals and the Steelers. Yes, McCarthy and Rodgers have had success. They're both old. Do they have enough? I'm done. We've done this for 5 or 6 years in a row. I don't doubt the Steelers anymore in the preseason. I've learned my lesson. I'm not doing it. I'm not thinking Pittsburgh is going to be bad, because every year I do this and every year they exceed my expectations. So Pittsburgh will battle for a playoff berth. You mentioned my love for the Bengals last year. I thought they were going to get all the way to the Super Bowl. I put my money where my mouth was. If Burrow's healthy, how much is there a difference? Obviously, there is a difference. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. Something you nailed in the preview last year. The defense just wasn't there. It still doesn't feel like it's there, but it's going to come down to those two teams, tiebreakers and everything else for a playoff berth. So I'll give that when we get to our playoff teams. Cleveland. Let's talk about the Browns here for a second. They stink. The organization is terrible. They're a bunch of bums. They're no good. I've been the Shador Sanders defender on this show, but even I can't do this now with Watson, Sanders, Gabriel. I believe they drafted a player named Taylor Green, who was a 6'6" kid who looks like Vince Young if he couldn't throw or was slower. Somewhere that was a compliment. So they got about 4 to 5 quarterbacks in the room. They're not good. So Cleveland had their chance to be good with Joe Thomas and Myles Garrett. When you rank all-time great players, they stunk. So Cleveland, see you later. You also will be in contention for the number 1 pick, along with Miami, and I'll throw my other team, obviously, with Arizona. So those are my 3. Like, you 3 will figure. No. I'm sorry. I gave Miami love. It's between Cleveland, the Jets, and the Cardinals for the number 1 pick to the Baltimore Ravens.
I agree with 2 of the 3.
Okay. I love Baltimore this season. Very chalky of me. The Ravens are the team listed with the most wins amongst AFC teams for over-unders. I see the number floating at 11.5. Here's why Baltimore is so good this year. It is that schedule. Baltimore benefits from a softer schedule. What type of algorithm, what type of AI helped out the Ravens get there at 8 and 9 in second place? Somebody smarter than me can walk me through that. But Baltimore with a healthy Lamar Jackson, a new head coach, Derrick Henry still there. I love the Ravens. I think the Ravens will not only win the AFC North, but they will have the number 1 overall seed coming out of the AFC.
All right, I feel better about saying they're going to fade, because whoever you love out of the North, this sucks. That's just the historic Goz just fade right on that one for me. What's their win total? Do you have that handy? Because
11.5.
Oh, under now. No, maybe 9. Maybe 9 or 10 tops. All right, the AFC South. This is one I want you to go first, because I don't think you're going to I think your jaw hits your keyboard when you hear where I go with the AFC South.
One day, and maybe the day is today, one day this division will actually get some respect. They had a team with 13 wins last year and a team with 12 wins last year. One of those teams with 12 wins last year won an opening round playoff game. The other team in the division was 8-2 last year. It was the talk of the NFL through the first 10 games of the season. And Jonathan Taylor should have gotten more love for MVP. And the Titans blew everything up, but the Titans have a new head coach. The Titans will be improved. I can see the Titans doubling their win totals. So Tennessee, I know it doesn't sound exciting. You can get 6 wins. Cam Ward in Tennessee. Don't sleep on Cam Ward in fantasy, by the way, this year. I think he could have a nice year, especially in garbage time. So I can see Tennessee getting 6 wins. The Colts, you're probably going to sit around 6 or 7. There you go. Hit it. 6, 7 wins, because the quarterback scenario is I love Jonathan Taylor, but I don't know who in the world's throwing the ball there. They're going to have their own issues. It's a brawl between Jacksonville and Houston. The Jags and Texans, I believe, both get to the postseason. Both around 11 to 12 wins for those teams. The storyline I love most out of this division this year, though, why not us? The Texans have never gone to a Super Bowl. The Jaguars have never gone to a Super Bowl. These two teams also have their season finale against one another later in the season. December 20th is the final 2 times those two teams play each other. They're both legitimate Super Bowl contenders and can represent the AFC in a crowded AFC. So I'm going to go with the Jags. Same record, very similar to the North there when I talked about the Bengals and the Steelers. Going to come down to tiebreakers, but I'm going to go with the Jags over the Texans for the AFC South.
I have the Jags as a mystery team. Like I feel like I was on the Jags last year, and I think what they were last year is similar to what they'll be this year without Etchin, without some of the other pieces that they've let go. I think they're going to be as close to 500 as you can get. I really do. 8 to 9 wins, I think, is where the Jags are going to end up. When it comes to the South, I think the Texans are just so freaking scary because of their defense. But the quarterback situation bothers me. The beauty of the Texans, I think, is you're going to need 21 points a game to win. If you can score 21 points, you're going to win your football games. You're going to be fine. But can they? Is the question. The Titans, I feel like they will take a step forward with big game Bob Saleh, with Brian Dable. And again, if the Giants struggle with Harbaugh and Dable has Cam Ward slinging the rock, how many Giants fans goes, we never should have got rid of Dable. I knew it. No one asked me. I could have told you. Here's where I think your jaw hits your keyboard. I love the Colts this year. I love the Colts this year. I think you're gonna hate this. I think the only reason that the MVP will not come from the Colts is because Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor are going to split votes. I think they are going to have a special season on offense. I think that team is better than you think they are. And if Daniel Jones stays healthy, they will win the South. That's how I think they could have won it last year with the way they run the football. They play solid defense. They run the football, and Danny Dimes belongs in that offense. I like the Colts a lot this year.
Hey, we always have that one team, that outlier. There's a reason we do this preview show. The fun part about this show is that take from you will now be asked from now until September kickoff of remember in July when Levack talked about his love for the Colts. I know you regretted last year, for those who might have missed last year's, in this season preview last year, Levack loved the Chicago Bears. As the summer went on, his love went away for the Bears. 2 years ago in this season preview, I loved the Commanders. So we do have a history of, I didn't see that team coming up. And unfortunately, our Super Bowl streak of 5 consecutive years nailing a Super Bowl participant ended. Okay. I'm not going to push back on your Colt. I am shocked. You are right about that.
I knew I had you. That's why I wanted to build to it. All right, let's do it. Let's go to left coast. I want to just go Homer. I want to go Homer so bad. I just want them to win football games. I don't know if they're gonna. I think they're on their path. I think the Raiders and the Giants are extremely similar teams. They have their quarterback of the future. They made so many smart moves in the offseason, but I think you're in such a deep ditch that even though you started digging out, you ain't reached the surface yet. So I'm not gonna do what y'all think I'm gonna do and freak out about the Raiders, but I do think they will be better. They'll be a lot more fun to watch this year. I actually like the AFC West guys for me is a tale of one team because we know how special the Chiefs are when Mahomes is healthy. I don't know when he'll be healthy. I think there's a chance that dude friggin' plays in the first 3 weeks, but I think there's a chance he doesn't look right. And I think that is a team that even though they've made some very smart moves, I think because of another team in the West, they won't be the dominant team that we've seen in the AFC. I think Denver's issues between Bo Nix and Sean Payton, I think that makes them take a step back, even though that defense is phenomenal. The Chargers are going to dominate the AFC West. The other Harbaugh, Herbert, healthy, everybody. They had so many terrible injuries last year that they took a step back. Harbaugh's got his offensive line now. He's got his defensive front. He's got one of the best guys, James, in the secondary. Like, I think the Chargers have a very, very, very good chance of playing in Los Angeles in February.
I'm going to go back to the Chargers. I'm going to put a pin in that for a second. Let me start with your Raiders first, though. The tough part about your Raiders is I don't know if there's an easy game on their schedule. Obviously, they had the number one pick. Every game when people do the preseason expectations, they're going to mark the Raiders as a win. That's never how it goes. But it's not an easy schedule for a team that had the number one overall pick. There's some tough matchups. They will be better. I'm rooting for Fernando Mendoza. I want the Raiders to be good because it makes hopefully our show more compelling. You hear us, Q? We don't mind having you on as a guest. I don't mind some more Raider fans coming to the podcast and the YouTube side. So I'm rooting for the Raiders this year. Also for your sanity. I think it's been long enough that they've stunk that for the sake of your health, I need them to be better. Okay,
I got a Michigan football and basketball championship. I got a Knicks
true.
championship now. You know, if the Yankees and the Raiders start winning, I might be a problem. I might start sounding like Dave Portnoy.
This is the first aggregated cut from the new podcast. Goz in July hope for Raiders wins, and somebody pulls that. They'll be better. They're not a playoff team, but they'll be better.
I think they could be in play for that last wild card late into this season, though. I think I think they're that much better, and I think a lot of teams will sleep on them.
I like Denver. I would have liked Denver to get back to the Super Bowl. The stuff with Knicks is either not. No one's being truthful about it. Because you're telling me a player got hurt so badly he couldn't play in the AFC title game on a freak play we haven't really seen a lot of replays of. We haven't seen a lot of pictures of. The one picture that's been released, his leg looked deformed, and I don't know what in the world was going on. It's just a weird stuff in Denver. But they've got a Hall of Fame head coach and arguably the best defense in the NFL, and they got better with their biggest weakness, which was wide receiver, with the addition of Jalen Waddle. They are too good to ignore. So the Broncos are absolutely still in the playoff hunt for that. Kansas City. Here is my first big wager of the season for you people who like to invest like Levack and I do. I love Kansas City week one. Every year for about, Levack, 5 years in a row, my favorite play in week one of any sport is you take the team that everyone thinks is going to be the worst team in the NFL that year, and you take them with the points. Now, it didn't hit last year. A ball got tipped there for the Saints. That should have covered. I'm not bitter about it still anyways. But this year, I'm not doing that in week one. My absolute favorite play is week one, Kansas City versus Denver. Because everyone talked about how great the Broncos were last year. It's a divisional game. Kansas City's a 2.5-point favorite. Like, they don't have Mahomes. They stink. They're done. They're toast. Kansas City is going to cover and crush Denver week one, and it's going to be a shock. And I might even use them survivor. And then Denver's going to roll around in week two and crush whoever they play. So I love the Chiefs week one. The Chiefs are in the playoff picks. The Chiefs are actually back to the postseason. You mentioned the Chargers.
You might. I just want to be clear that you might be putting money on Justin Fields to win a football game.
Week one against Denver. Unless some wild thing happens with that line. Why is that line only 2.5 still? As of this recording, Mahomes isn't playing. That should have at least be the. Why would Denver not be the favorite in that game? They just went to the AFC title. You know, there's some little interesting things going on there with that number. Why it's not bigger already.
Garrett Nussmeier, just so you know,
keep it at 2.5. I dare you, books. I dare you.
Cowards.
The Chargers. Oh, I love them so much, like you do this year. It's McDaniel is the OC. You're not as big as a fan of him as I am. Maybe he's in his perfect role now, but they've got everything. They've got the coach. They've got the quarterback. They've got the running back. They've got this is the team. I don't want an all LA Super Bowl, but my gosh, it could potentially happen. The Chargers are so good right now. I love the Chargers. I have the Chargers also winning the AFC West.
No comment on that one thing you just said. At least not yet. At least not yet. All right, so let's move over to the NFC. We'll come back. We'll give you all our playoff teams. NFC East. I think I kind of tipped my hand a little bit on this one because I told you that I think the Giants are about a year or two away. And probably 2, to be honest with you. But I think the path is there. So like that's good news. The Commanders, I love Dan Quinn. I do. But I am not sold on the Washington Commanders. The Cowboys have a chance to be very, very, very good but I think this is the Eagles division yet again. I think Philadelphia, like as good as AJ Brown is, sometimes you need to get rid of a superstar to, pull everybody back together, show everybody this is Jalen Hurts' team. They were so good when he ran the football. As a dual threat quarterback, the Eagles are nasty. The Eagles win the NFC East. I'll go Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants, but I think Commanders, Giants will both have like 6 wins.
I totally agree. I was hoping to find something sexy about the NFC East. The thing about Philly is they do it years in advance. This roster is loaded. And there's a lot of questions about Jalen Hurts. I feel like just because Philly needs something to talk about. All he does is win. The pressure's on him. If you want to say the storyline about the Eagles is that this is the season of Hurts, I think that's very fair. And I think he lives up to it. He won in college. He won in high school. He's won a Super Bowl. Now Brown's gone. This is his team. They're really good. He's a leader. He's answered all the questions before. I mentioned fantasy football earlier. Another nice year for Jalen Hurts if you want to have him as your fantasy football quarterback. This is Philly's division to lose. After that, it's a mix and mash. Like New York, Washington, and Dallas all feel like the same team to me. I loved Washington so much 2 years ago when they got to the NFC title game because of the schedule. You went through the schedule, you're like, they can beat a lot of these teams. And they did. And they had a rookie quarterback that people didn't really know how to play against. I don't love him as much anymore. But if I had to rank it, you said about anywhere between 500, right? Like, yeah. It's like Philly
I think Commanders and Giants will both have like 6 wins. I think they'll be
okay. There you go.
They'll be tied with each other.
Yep. I have them basically about the same. 6 wins there, and Dallas doesn't get over 500 for me. They're like 8, 9, 7, and 10. So Philly runs away with that division, and I don't see anybody else. I would love to make a case for the Giants or Commanders or nothing. They don't feel like they got that much better to me this offseason. And a lot of that is more so about how really, like, this is a top-heavy conference. After you get through, like, the top 8, there's a big separation here this year in the NFC.
Does Saquon bounce back? I mean, he didn't have a bad year, but he didn't have a 2,000-yard year. Do you think he has a great year again?
He's okay. I would, you know what? Thank you for Levack for reminding people that 2 years ago, I told you Saquon Barkley would run for 2,000 yards right here on this preview show. I feel like Phil Steele, but I got to remind people that we have a new audience here. So go back and find those shows on Spotify. No, I think Saquon's okay. I think he's like, and by okay, I'm talking about like top 12 rushing, top 12 touchdowns, probably 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. That shouldn't be a ho-hum season, but he had 1,200 last year and 7 touchdowns. So probably about the same.
That'll work. I think the offense is going to go through him, though. So I think he's going to have I think he's a good fantasy football guy. I think maybe not. He's not going to do 2,000, but I think he'll pop off. He'll pop off next year. All right. There's the East. Let's go north, my friends. Guys, why don't you go ahead and start with the NFC North?
What an awesome division this was last year. Awesome actually doesn't sum this up well enough. An all-time great division in the history of the NFL. 1950s was the last time we saw 4 division teams all finish above 500. Divisions were even different back then. I don't know if you've ever seen this happen in the new modern divisions of the last 25 years. We haven't. All the teams finished above 500. The Packers got to the postseason last year because they finished 9-7-1, and the Vikings and Lions were 9-8. The Lions gotten so close before. I'm going to give the Lions. Here's how I got this division pegged here. The Lions get in. The Lions are your division champions, but this one is because Detroit benefits from the bottom half of that division. And I'm talking about the scheduling because they're the 4th place team, so they get a little softer schedule than everybody else, even though they benefited from being above 500 and didn't get to the postseason. It's a wild thing for the Lions. Love me some Sonic this year. Levack, if you and I are in fantasy football leagues, who knows what our fantasy football leagues will look like now that we're not a part of one. I think that's an odd thing.
I was told they like taking our money and that we'll still be invited to the one.
I'll consider it. Although I like Big Al. I want to beat up on Delia too. I love Detroit, and Jahmyr Gibbs is, you talk about fantasy and post, like this is it. This is the year he can be incredible. So I love the Lions to win this division. The bottom of this division, and sorry, Big Al, I love you, but you're Packers, man. I don't get it anymore. I don't. Josh Jacobs and what's going on off the field, is he going to get suspended? Where does Jordan Love rank? Eventually, they got to figure out a wide receiver. This is more about the division and less about the Packers. They can get to 9-8 and just miss the postseason because they almost did last year. Don't think they did a lot in the postseason. This comes down to the final game of the regular season. This is the Sunday night football matchup. Somebody's in, somebody's out. Week 18, flex, baby. Bears, Vikings. Winner of this game is in the postseason, losers out. And give me Minnesota. Minnesota went 9-8 last year with bad quarterback play. Minnesota has been there so close. The defense has kept them in games. Kevin O'Connell is that good of a head coach. Minnesota ended last year on a 5-game winning streak. What if J.J. McCarthy was healthy? What if J.J. McCarthy wasn't the quarterback? Well, one of those two things we're going to figure out this year. Either Kyler Murray's going to take over for J.J. McCarthy, or J.J. McCarthy's going to play well. So I will take the Vikings as the final team over the Bears in the spot in the NFC North. So give me the Lions and the Vikings coming out of this division, with the Lions winning it.
All right, so we agree on the Packers. I think the Packers well, the Packers are such a weird team. Like, Matt LaFleur gives off hostage energy. Like when Matt LaFleur is on camera, I'm just like, blink twice if you need us to get you out of here. Like, he might be the only head coach in the NFL who's like, could you just fire me? He looks so uncomfortable. I think they take a step back this year, a decent one. You mentioned the Josh Jacobs things off the field. There's a lot going on. Lions, I'm lukewarm on the Lions. I really am. Like, I think I see what they're trying to do. I see, you talk about Sonics, you talk about Gibbs and all that, and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff. I love their offense. I love Aiden Hutchinson on defense. Something about them, though, it's like, I feel like it's that, like, whenever you have the big Thanksgiving and you're waiting to get moved from the kids' table to the adult table, like you're just hoping that this is the year when you come in, that, Nana and Pop Earl say, all right, come on, kid, you end up playing the main stage. I think they're literally standing between the two tables right now. I don't see, and since they're going to play on Thanksgiving, I felt like that was an apropos way to put it. But Vikings, the defense is going to be amazing. Quarterback situation is too much confusion. What's the old saying? If you got two quarterbacks, it means you don't have any. I think you either get a guy who can't ride a roller coaster or a guy who thinks that he has to have a separate personality to play well. So I'm not there. I love the Bears. I think the Bears. I know that there's the Madden curse. I know there's a lot of things going on there, but Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson together, I think the Chicago Bears will be playing in the NFC Championship game. I think the Bears
Whoa.
I think Ben Johnson, you talk about that coach who just the players want to play for him and all that. He's that dude. Like, he's that dude. And I think he's going to prove it. And I think he's one of the reasons I still don't believe in the Lions. I think you put him together with a master motivator like Dan Campbell, and now you've got the brains and the brawn, you're set. Now he's both. He's running around with his shirt off and calling out perfect plays for his quarterback that wears nail polish. Like, I think it's so I'm gonna go Bears, Lions, Vikings, Packers. I think Packers go first to worst in the North.
Do me a favor. When we are done recording this wonderful episode, make sure you put your future wager on Chicago, however that, like, final NFC finalist or whatever, because that was a fun part we did on radio last year. I'm like, Levack, do you put that future on Chicago? You put that future on, and as slowly as the Bears continue to win, you're like, oh, I should not have given up on the Bears. That amazing throw by Williams in the postseason, everything. So I don't know what it looks like. And by the way, we'll figure out what that looks like if a wonderful sportsbook wants to sponsor the show as we go through. Okay. All right. The Bears
I 100% made a Super Bowl future bet last night when I was finishing my notes.
I had to check. All right. No spoilers. All right. No spoilers.
I had to check because there was some libations being had as I'm underemployed. But there is a wager out there.
Well, somebody who's made you drink over the past few years is our rivalry with Baker Mayfield. You, not so much a fan of Baker. Me, loving Baker. My beautiful bride, my wonderful wife, loves Baker Mayfield from the days he was hitting that dance. What was that dance he hit at Oklahoma? That's a long time ago.
Was it the
Levack,
Dougie? What was
the
it?
Dougie, thank you. That sounded even older when you said it, and it still was that dance. I'd like to go first here on the NFC.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I have I know how I'm breaking this one down. So
the Saints were supposed to be the worst team in the NFL last season. They are not the worst team in the NFL. They are going to be one win better, 7-10 this year. Unfortunately for the Saints, they are not going to get the quarterback they want. Tyler Shuck is fine. They thought they're going to get Arch. That's not the case. I don't know if I said they're in last place or not, because they're not going to be in last place. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be in last place.
Ooh.
I love my Buccaneers. I'm a Buccaneer fan. That is my team. I've rooted for them. I still root for them. My guy Matt Woods, who's technically sort of in some ways our boss. I don't know who signed. I believe you're still signing the paycheck. That's right. That's right. So the Albany Hobart's own. Hobart's own. They stink. They stink.
Modus answers to no one.
The Bucs are 6-11. The Bucs were the best team in the NFL last year, and then everything blew up. The problem with my Buccaneers, as much as I've been a Baker Mayfield defender, the fact that when you and I are talking right now, he doesn't have a contract is a huge red flag to Baker, because the organization doesn't think they're very good, because they're the greatest friend in the history of their franchise. They won with Tom Brady. They got to multiple NFC title games and won the title. You know, they tied for the NFC title last year. They got the multiple postseasons, I should say, as the representative of the NFC title, South champion out of the division. They've never done this before. It's over. I'm looking at quarterbacks. I'm wondering who's going to fall. Can Trinidad Chambliss be the Bucs quarterback? My Bucs are in last. They're 6-11. The Saints are 7-10. The Panthers stick at 8-9. But 8-9 is not getting to get you into the postseason this year. The Carolina doesn't move. Atlanta is the team. Atlanta is the team in the NFC South. And so often in these previews, and so often with whatever we are, talking heads, pundits, analysts, insiders, fans, media members, Atlanta's always the team that gets love in the preseason. But look at this thing. You've got a coach who got the Cleveland Browns to a postseason and won a game. You've got a top 3 running back in the NFL, a top 10 wide receiver. I love me some Kyle Pitts. They've got a strong secondary with the 2 Terrell brothers from Clemson. I believe Jesse Bates is still on the team, who's one of the best defensive backs in the NFL. This is the team. This is the squad. I love them. I think Atlanta dominates the South. It comes down to Stefanski. By the way, Jesse Bates is still on the Falcons. I was hoping he left. He still hasn't left. He's still terrorizing my Bucs. This is Atlanta's division.
Just want to let you know that as I was doing my notes last night, I renamed the entire division. It's the NFC poop. The Falcons are poop. I'm glad you like them, but they're poop. They're bird poop, but they're poop. When you've got Michael Penix Jr., who just saying his name out loud, the wind that came from my breath tore his ACL, going up against Tua, who is more like Pua, I ain't scared. Like I love a lot of the weapons, but I don't think they are the power team in the NFC poop. The Bucs are poop. The Baker is poop. All poop.
Someone has to come out of this division, Levack, although it may stank like Dookie. Although 3 teams on your over-under win totals are listed at 7.5. The Saints, Falcons, and Panthers. The Bucs are at 8.5. Does that make it any better or worse?
It's not good. Sorry, I just got a text from our guy Lou over at Cagino's. Poop. Here's what happens. I think the Saints are going to work. I think Tyler Shuck. I think the Clemens Shuck. I think they work. I think they're a good team. Blow your mind. Carolina Panthers win the NFC poop. The Carolina Panthers have gotten better. They're going to win this division. Carolina, you may hate the ownership. You may not like what they're doing. Bryce Young is good. They've got Tech 9 out there. Carolina wins the NFC poop division.
They had the Rams on the ropes in that playoff game. They really did.
They're really getting it together. They remind me of Major League. Like, it's almost like they're all rallying around the fact they hate their owner. Like, that's like because nobody likes that owner. Like, I don't know, man. Something's happening there. I think Carolina wins the NFC poop. And then when you get to the NFC West, if you would like, you can lead, because I know where I'm going here, and I'm going big.
Whatever the opposite of poop is this division? Is this the steak division? Is this the lobster? All of those things. The Arizona Cardinals, you are officially now on the clock with the number 1 overall pick. You can draft who you want. As bad as Arizona's projected to be this season, Cardinal fan, believe me when I say this, it's less about your franchise. You are just right now in the middle of an all-time run from 3 other teams. That doesn't make you feel better, because San Francisco's gone to 2 Super Bowls in the past 7 seasons. The Rams, we know what they're all about. We'll talk about them obviously here. And Seattle just won the Super Bowl. And look, the Rams won one within the last 5 years. So Arizona stinks. They're at the bottom. San Francisco, they're going to get to 11 wins again, 11 or 12 wins. They're going to get to the postseason. They're going to be a tough team to beat. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, awesome combo. They should be good. The Ayuk thing is up in the air still this summer. That'll be a question mark of how they handle it. I still like San Francisco. They're still really, really good. And maybe they won't be injured 1 year. Maybe they'll actually have players who are still on the roster to play.
Well, they're going to stop practicing near the power lines. Is that what it is? Because that's all they got.
Right. Seattle and LA will be the best matchups all year when they play in the regular season, just like they were last year. Both teams have gotten better. I will take the Rams over the Seahawks, but we are looking at another 13 to 14 win season apiece. It can be separated by the second time those two teams play in the regular season, both in the postseason. I will take the Rams over the Seahawks, but I have 3 teams again in similar fashion to last season coming out of the West to be postseason teams. I have, again, LA at 1, Seattle 2, San Francisco at 3, and all 3 of those squads are going to the postseason.
Cards are poop. Like I said, the number 1 pick in the draft will be between the Dolphins, the Cardinals, and the Jets. But I think the Jets may actually end up with the 3rd overall pick. That's how bad the Dolphins and the Cardinals are. Bird poop is what those are. Again, I think the Seahawks take a small step back. And again, it's not. I don't think they're going to be a bad team. I think they take a small step back, and the reason they take that small step back is they have to play 4 games in total against the Rams and the 49ers. I think the 49ers will be an improved team. I'm not a big Brock Purdy guy. I know everybody loves Brock Purdy. He fits there. But I almost think the story for them is going to be somehow Mac Jones is going to play, and Mac Jones is going to make himself a S load of money this year in his spot starts for the 49ers. But the Rams are the best team in football. The Rams, I mean, how you were already so good, and you got better. You got Myles Garrett. I'm not going to be shocked. I've heard people say I'm stupid for this, and I'm fine. I've been called stupid for a lot worse reasons or even better ones. But I think it is possible Aaron Donald waits till camp is over and then comes and plays like 3-4 weeks into the season. And there's a defensive front with Garrett and Donald on it. And at that point, if I'm Sam Darnold, if I'm Mac Jones, if I'm Brock Purdy, if I'm watching television in a quarterback jersey, I quit. I don't want to play anymore, because those 2 dudes cannot. Those 2 meeting at quarterback is just going to be a cloud of dust. They're going to pop them. It's going to be disgusting. So I got Rams, Niners, Seahawks, then the Cardinals when I go to the AFC West.
All right, so that is all the divisions, right? We have covered all of those squads. So now we have to piece together what our postseason looks like. Levack, I'm going to go first here. I've been taking some notes. I want to make sure I stay consistent with that. For those who have been listening on the Spotify Apple side, please share your picks as well, who you think you like, who you don't like. Hopefully we've hit every single team, giving you at least one scouting report of every squad in the NFL. That's always our hope in our NFL preview. Okay, here's what my NFL playoff picture looks like. I'm going to go with the AFC in the top, and then I'll go to the NFC. I told you I love the Ravens. I have them as the number 1 seed. So I've got the Ravens at the top. Then here are the 3 division winners again in order of their record: Bills, Chargers, Jaguars. So that's my top 4 division winners. Top wildcard team, I told you the Jaguars and Texans are going to be neck and neck because that division is not as good as the other divisions to me. I have the Texans as the 5th seed. The Chiefs and the Broncos and Patriots are deciding that final bid. I'm going to take Denver. So I've got 3 teams coming out of the AFC West. Last year, the Chiefs didn't make it. So that's what my playoff picture looks like in the AFC. Again, 3 teams from the West: Bills, Jags, Texans. That's how that thing rounds out there. So 2 from the South. Did I not have a team from the North? Yeah, the Ravens. Okay. And then the NFC, I've got the Rams at top as the number 1 seed. The other division winners are the Falcons, Eagles, and Lions. And then my wildcard teams, as I mentioned, the 2 teams from the NFC West, the Seahawks and the 49ers, and then the Minnesota Vikings beating the Bears for the final spot in the final game of the season for a postseason berth.
All right. I'm waffling on one of mine. I'm waffling a little bit, but all right.
Is it always the seeding? The seeding's tough, man, because when you get to like the 6, 7, I didn't mean to actually do that for the second time. It's tough because like, what's the tiebreaker? Did they play in the head-to-head matchup in the regular season? Did they rest? So that's always the toughest part because like a lot of these teams who are the wild card teams actually don't feel worse than some of the division winners ahead of them.
I'm literally the last like wild card on both sides. I've gone back and forth. Luckily, I wrote it like in my Google Docs. Otherwise, I'd be like erasing and whiteouting and stuff. All right, so I'm gonna go AFC first. Is that how you want me to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. All right, I think the Buffalo Bills win the East. They're in. I think the Cincinnati Bengals win. They're in. I think the Colts win. They're in. The Chargers win. They're in. I have struggled over the wild card in the AFC. I think the AFC is going to be a little similar to what it was last year, where it's like you've got some top heavy talent, and then it's a lot of teams fighting it out to get to the tournament and hope they can make a run. I'm going to go with the Patriots, the Steelers, and the Ravens. 3 teams from the North get in because it's just such a weird division. But again, I could be easily talked into moving a couple of those out and putting Denver in or something like that. But that's where I'm at for our way too early preview. NFC?
Lay it on me.
Eagles, Bears, Panthers, and the Rams. And then I've got the 49ers, the Saints, and how about them Cowboys? That's what I'm doing. The Cowboys, I waffle. I was between the Cowboys and Lions. I think Shoddy. I think Schottenheimer. I think Dak Prescott, Dakota Rain. I think they do enough to squeeze their way in there and get that final playoff spot.
I don't want to melt your brain here with math too much, but how I'm reading those predictions from you, you are going to have like LA, Seattle, some of the Philly like dominate. And that final wild card berth in the NFC is going to be a team around 9 wins, like a 9-win Cowboy. Okay, yeah. So our guy Matt Bob's like
8-9. One of those teams that we're just like, should they even be here? Somebody's getting that team, whatever that last wild card team is in the NFC and maybe the AFC. It's going to be those conversations where it's like, I think we should reseed. That's what I'm predicting because I think there are 3 teams who are substantially better than everyone else in the NFL right now.
There's a chance there's 5 teams at 8 and 7 going to the final 2 weeks of the regular season. That mix of the North, the mix of the South, and then, as you mentioned, the Cowboys there. Look, we didn't give the Cowboys a lot of love earlier in the show, but you said it, like it's top heavy, and then everybody else is scrambling in December, which will make it a lot of fun for the playoff picture. But okay, with that setup that you have, I'm not going to give you my Super Bowl pick yet, but I'm just going to walk you through my postseason real quick here. So the Ravens are the number 1 seed. I have the Bills playing the Broncos. The Bills win. I have the Chargers playing the Chiefs. I have the Chargers beating the Chiefs and what could be Travis Kelce's final game in the NFL. And in another in-division matchup, I got to see Jacksonville actually win a playoff game. I have the Texans beating the Jags in round 3 in that matchup. So I get the Bills and the Chargers, the Ravens and the Texans. Sorry, Bills Mafia. This feels like the Chargers beating you on your new stadium and the Ravens beating the Texans. So my AFC title game is the Ravens and the Chargers. Flip it to the NFC. I've got the Falcons getting upset in classic Falcon fashion by the Vikings as the 2 seed. I have the Eagles losing for people to lose their minds against San Francisco. And I have Detroit losing to Seattle. Those fan bases that want to win choke it away in the postseason. Rams and Vikings is the first matchup of the divisional round. Could be the Rams and another NFC West clash, San Francisco and Seattle. But this time, the Niners beat the Seahawks. So I have Rams, Niners in the NFC title game. Gosh, I feel like that matchup has happened before. And Ravens, Chargers in my AFC title game.
Okay, because I've changed my wild card so many times, I cannot do what you just did. My brain will pop. What I can do is I can give you the AFC and the NFC championship games. So I believe the 1 and the 2 seed, all chalk, baby. 1 and 2 will play each other on both sides. And for me, that's Chargers versus Bills for the AFC, and that is the Rams versus the Bears for the NFC. Those are the championship games.
Wow. So we have 2 of the 4 similar teams in the title game, both from Los Angeles. I had the Chargers. You had the Chargers. We both had the Rams. I had the Bills almost getting there. Oh my gosh. You got the Bears. All right. Now, in the past, this is where we do some promotional reads before we gave you our Super Bowl 61 prediction. 5 consecutive years, one of us, you or I, had nailed one representative in the Super Bowl. That streak unfortunately ended this past time we did our season preview, and we don't have any reads to do. But if you're interested in promoting or supporting Levack and Goz, Goz at GozillaMedia.com or social media, I would like to go first here, Levack.
Go, have at it, sir.
I am between the Ravens and the Chargers. It'd be really cool to see the Chargers get there, but Baltimore is my team. Lamar Jackson and the change. This has been a theme, changing your head coach. Baltimore finally breaks through. Baltimore, the team that you thought last year was going to get to the Super Bowl, gets there this year. Give me the Ravens out of the AFC, and I can't deny what the Rams have done. We are looking at an all-time great NFL team. From the Eagles block kick to the random finishes and the choke job against Seattle on Thursday night, the Rams were great last year, and they just couldn't get it done. That ain't the case this year. It's chalky, the most chalky one I've ever done on a season preview. The 2 favorites. Give me the Ravens and the Rams in Los Angeles in Super Bowl 61.
You're so close to being right. You're so close. The last night, I put $1 hair at 59-1. The Los Angeles Rams over the Los Angeles Chargers. The Battle of LA. Rams will beat the Bears. Chargers will beat the Bills. And the Rams will beat the Chargers in the Super Bowl. It's $1 to bring back 60, my friend. It's $1 to bring back 60. I already did it.
I also have, this is the first time I believe this has ever happened. We both have the same team winning the Super Bowl. We both have the Rams. For more history on our Super Bowl preview show, when the Rams defeated the Bengals, I believe that is Super Bowl February of 2023. I think I'm pretty close there, 2022. That Super Bowl was played in Los Angeles. You and I were not there, but we did a season preview together. And that year, in the preseason, you, my friend, 7 months before the Super Bowl, called the Rams winning the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, and I cashed that one too. So now I just cashed the Knicks. Let's see if we can do this again. The only thing I'm gonna be angry about is if this happens that I only put $1 on it. So because I'll probably do some more as we go, as I've been known to do. But yeah, I think that's the way too early preview. We both like the Rams. We just who their dance partner is. But I honestly believe that the Rams and the Bears are just. I think they're the 2 best teams in the NFL. I don't think it's all that close. And then it's the Chargers right there too. Like those are the 3 best teams: the Chargers, Rams, Bears. You can pick the order. I think those 3 teams are going to be special this year.
Let us know what you think at the Jeff Levack on Twitter, at Tom Goz, TOMGOZZ, Facebook as well. Leave a comment, download, subscribe, rate and review on the podcast site. If you're watching this on YouTube, I did my best to do shorts and reels. Please criticize those. It's the first time I did it, but we're going to try it.
Fernando Mendoza, Rookie of the Year. Let's go.
All right. I fought doing this forever, but I'm watching the small attention spans of you people shrink. So we tried some reels on this one too. I don't know the next time you and I will talk. If you missed it, you probably already heard the start of the show. I don't have to do the radio stuff anymore. Earlier in the show, we mentioned, I don't know what I would love to do this daily. The next time we talk, hopefully we'll have some cool announcements about what the future looks like.
I'm far too busy to talk to you daily. I'm a very busy man. I don't know if you've seen all these awards and everything behind me. I'm very, very highly sought after, sir. Plus, I've been pretty much drunk since I left, so don't plan on stopping that at all. But no, it's good to talk to you. Happy. Everybody have a great one.
Yeah, there's not a great sign off. We had a sign off on radio. I think we leave it on radio. I think I just hit the.
I hated it. I hated it. You know what? Let's do this one. Hey guys, hit the freaking button.